I just want to talk about water clarity. I don't do anything special to my water. I don't check my water parameters. I don't dose with any type of chemicals. I don't use carbon. I don't use hang on the back filters. Basically, and you can see, my water is, I mean, you can almost, this is 2 feet deep, back ways, and you can't even tell the water's there. Sorry, I got my light pushed to the back. I'm getting ready to take out this duckweed. Another example, Rusty the Red Texas. He's just in here chilling right now. This is a good angle for him because it shows how red and orange he is. But as you can see, the water is super crystal clear. And the only filter I have is this is the smallest sponge filter you can buy. So, sorry about that. So what's causing this tank to have such clean water, clear water? And what it is you want to filter your tank with enough biomedia that it's gonna eat up the bio load that your fish is producing. Each fish has an amount of waste that it produces. Couple that with the amount of waste produced from overfeeding, food left in the bottom of the tank that's not taken out if he doesn't eat it, which I don't do, unless it's really bad. You want to set the filter, you want to have the filter set up accordingly. Like, for one fish, this sponge filter will grow enough beneficial bacteria to take care of all of the water's needs in order for this fish to survive and thrive. Now you can go overboard like this tank with the Dovi. I have the sponge filter, which is more than enough for him and his old lady. But I also have a hang on the back filter. It's a 125 and I don't have any problems. Now, another example, sorry about that. Planted aquariums. Plants definitely help with the water being cleaner. Now, as far as it being clear, it's gonna be, if your water is cloudy, it's because you have some type of spike, maybe an ammonia spike or something like that. So you want to do an immediate water change. I do a 20% to 25% water change once a week, and I might go in and do an extra one in between. But all this fancy stuff that they tell you to buy, like carbon and these giant filters, if you don't mind having a little bit of like detritus on the bottom of your tank, then sponge filters are the way to go. The sponges have so much surface area, it can just hold so much bacteria that it's just, there's no comparison. Just like if you were to pop that sponge on the intake of your hang on the back filter, you're gonna increase your bio load, dramatically. Another thing, as far as water goes, what I do to set up a tank is I'll fill my tank with the water I'm using out of the faucet. I let it sit for 24 hours with a bubblers of some sort in it, like a, you know, air stone. I'll put an air stone in it, let it sit for 24 hours. I don't use any water conditioners. After 24 hours, then I can place a sponge in there with beneficial bacteria already in the sponge, which I can squeeze out of another sponge filter that's already established. So I'll take the new sponge and I'll put tank water in a bucket, put the new sponge in there, and then I'll take a established sponge out of an old tank and squeeze all the goop out of it into the water, soak it up into the new sponge, and there you go. Now you have an immediately ready to go tank. You don't want to instantly fill it with 20 fish. You just want to put maybe 1 or 2. Let the tank, let the sponge build up a good amount of beneficial bacteria. Let it get established. Then you can start adding fish. If your tank starts going cloudy or you notice there's something wrong, maybe you overstocked or you need another filter to accommodate the bioload. When you go to clean out your sponge filters, don't do it in tap water. That'll kill all the bacteria, and then when you go to put it back in your tank, it'll cause a crash. It won't even, there'll be no beneficial bacteria no more, and your tank will be cloudy and no fixing it until you get an established filter in there, which could cause a big problem. So, you know, make sure you only rinse your sponge filters in tank water. Never ever do it under any circumstances. Never rinse them in tap water. So yeah, another thing you can do with sponge filters or air is you can put a bubble wall at the back base, and it'll cause the water to roll from the back up and like this, and it'll keep that detritus all pushed up into one spot in the back, or in, you know, where it'll keep it all together. And if you have like hang on the back filter, it's good to do that because it'll keep the water flowing like that in a continuous motion, which will keep it in the water column, and then your hang on the back will suck it up. But other than that, I wonder if she's laying eggs. I don't see none. Other than that, yeah, all this extra stuff that they're having you buy, I mean, unless the fish that you have is water parameter specific, the only thing that I buy to put in my water is salt, and it's just non-iodized or it's not even aquarium salt. It's let's see, where's my salt? I can show you guys what it is. Oh, here it is. Sea salt. Made from evaporated seawater. Does not supply iodide. You gotta make sure that it doesn't have iodide. It's called uniodized salt. Let's see, I'll show you how much I put in. Maybe like, I don't know, for 155 gallon, I'll usually just, boom. And that's it. So I'll do my water change, then I'll put that in each tank. And that helps keep bacteria, negative bacteria down. Like this guy here, he's got this wound on his head. Just throw a little bit of salt in there, like that. And that'll keep it nice and pink. You won't see any film over it. And I haven't used any chemicals to treat him, and he's healing up pretty good. It was a big burn on his head from the heater. So, alright. that's my water tangent.